Jon Lester, a 3-time All-Star and a 2-time world champion. The Cubs ace will face a Giants team that hit 2 home runs last night. It's one of the best offenses in the National League. It's game 2 of the series. Giants-Cubs next.
We've got a lovely afternoon as we come to you from Wrigley Field. That's right, Wrigley Field, game 2 of this 4-game series, Giants and Cubs. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is John Miller. Mike Krukow, he'll join us back in San Francisco on Tuesday night. Well, the Giants took it on the chin last night. They trailed, but then managed to come back and make it a ball game. And I think one thing we're seeing, John, is we've come to Chicago a lot over the years. And we always see the crowds. They're fun to watch. But you can tell it's different this year. It really is.
It's the kind of excitement that only a contending team generates. And that's what we saw big time. And they were on their feet in the 9th inning. And you can't help but get excited just being around it. The Giants today going up against a tough lefty, and they have done well. And we saw during batting practice the wind blowing in from right across toward left. The ball was jumping toward left. Hunter Pence hit one high up off that big new scoreboard. They may send him a bill for repairs, but guys like Pence, Posey, Maxwell, they all may take some shots at that left field area because I think the ball is really going to carry well.
And Joe Madden has really stacked his lineup with left-handed hitters. Should be fun here at Wrigley Field on this gorgeous afternoon. Lots of things going on here at Wrigley. When we come back, we'll have the lineups and the first pitch of this game right after this.
Bryant is just on to third base. Giants Cubs here at Wrigley. The game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 82 degrees and the wind from the south-southeast at 11 miles per hour in from right across toward left as we are underway a little bit early here at Wrigley. Humidity at 41%, and the forecast is for mostly cloudy. Bluffing the bunt. Pagan takes the ball too low, and it's 2-0. Pagan, then Tomlinson, who's on deck, and Duffy batting third. There's a look at the flags above the center field scoreboard here, blowing in from right across toward left. And we saw the ball jumping to left field during batting practice as Pagan takes a called strike. It's 2-1.
Very live to left. Keep the ball down.
But a ball to right might get knocked down. We'll see. Strike two, Bryant at third. And the hits have been few and far between for Pagan on this road trip.
So here's the lineup. You just saw Pagan. Tomlinson's going to hit second, then Duffy, Posey, and Pence. You see where Brandon Crawford ranks among shortstops: Belt, Maxwell, and then Vogelsong. See, Lester, now don't be fooled by his record. He's very good. 6-8 with a 3.26 ERA.
Tomlinson shows bunt, and Bryant came rushing in from third. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Kelby Tomlinson in his second major league start. He's had 3 hits and 6 at bats so far. That's called a strike. The plate umpire is Paul Schreiber. With fielded Culbreth, Jim Reynolds, and Manny Gonzalez on the bases. Culbreth at first base, the crew chief. 1-1 the count. Off the outside. 2-1.
John, with Lester's problems throwing to first, Tomlinson would be one of those guys where you'd like to see him get on because he's fast and he is a base stealer.
John Lester, former Red Sox lefty, and a good one. Fouled out of play. 2-2.
See the Cubs defensively. It'll be the guy that caught last night. It'll be Schwarber in left, Fowler and Soler center and right. Then it's Bryant, Russell, Coghlan, and Rizzo. Ross will do the catching.
And there's Joe Maddon, first-year Cubs manager, longtime manager of the Tampa Bay Rays in the American League. Strike 3 called over the outside. Little backdoor cutter.
Well, tough education, and it indeed was a strike.
So 2 down, and Matt Duffy to the plate. John Lester, who's accomplished so much already as a big league pitcher, when he became a free agent, he was much in demand. The Giants tried very hard to get him. And he talked about that this week with the reporters here in Chicago as Duffy takes a knee-high called strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, he had nothing but great things to say about the Giants organization.
Right back to Lester. Now he'll run toward first, and the underhanded flip. He does have some sort of a phobia about making that throw to first base. 3 up, 3 down. Now Vogelsong to the hill.
No score here at Wrigley. The Giants take the field. Here's the Cubs lineup. That'll face Ryan Vogelsong. It'll be Fowler, Schwarber. You see Schwarber last night had a big home run, and he's red hot right now. It'll be Coghlan, Rizzo, and then Bryant. Rizzo and Bryant are the guys that can hit the ball out of the park. Solero hit 6th, and it's Ross. Lester, the pitcher, hitting 8th, and Russell 9th. Ryan Vogelsong will be making his 17th start. He faced the Cubs earlier this year and lost. He's 5-6 lifetime, and he's 3-4 here at Wrigley Field.
Vogie, who has not made a start since July the 11th, just before the All-Star break against the Phillies. And in his last 5 starts, including that one, he had a 2.86 ERA. And that one, a little cutter that ran in under the hands of Fowler. Pretty good pitch, and Fowler just managed to foul it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and two.
I see good strike zone from Paul Schreiber. Well, after last night, a couple of shutout innings to start out the game would be a good thing for the Giants. And that probably was a strike right there.
Well, they gave him that one that was, according to the pitch FX, a little bit off the inside. And then he didn't give him this one. So it's 2-2. And that last one, the pitch FX did show it as being right at the bottom of the strike zone. And the umpires, it's a mixed bag, as it always has been, but some umpires are giving that very, very low strike, and some just won't do it. So some will give the high strike, and some won't do that. 3-2 the count. Popped up foul and out of play, off to the left.
Yeah, defensively for the Giants, it'll be Maxwell, Pagan, and Pence in the outfield, followed by Duffy, Crawford, Tomlinson, and Belt from third to first, and Buster Posey, after a night off behind the dish last night, is behind the dish this afternoon.
No score in the game. 3-2 the count, and a foul again. Vogelsong against Bryant, against Fowler. Fowler's 3 for 11 against him with a double, a triple, and a single. Of course, the Giants used to see a lot of Dexter Fowler when he was a member of the Colorado Rockies. Spent the last couple of years in the American League with Houston. Strike 3 call.
Well, you take enough close pitches, eventually the umpire's going to ring you up.
Well, look at Buster's target there, and it was up a little higher, but not out away from that target.
Yeah, that's a strike.
Now, if you've been with us these last night and today again, you might be saying, wow, something about Wrigley Field sounds different. And it's that new big video board in left field. It's great looking. The pictures could not be sharper or more colorful. But look at those big speakers. And for some reason, here at Wrigley Field, they feel like those things have to be as loud and pumping the volume as high as possible. Schwarber into the gap and right at the base of the ivy. The Giants have not yet figured out young Kyle Schwarber.
Now, Vogelsong just left one up, and this kid right now, he's got a great swing. He's not going to miss these pitches. And in a lot of ways, you're just happy that he didn't hit it out of the ballpark. Pagan does get to it to keep Schwarber was doing anything but stopping at second.
22 years old, out of Indiana University. He's in left field today. Rather than being the catcher, they had the veteran David Ross catching with the left-hander Lester on the mound. Here is Chris Coghlan, who's also at a different position. He's at second base for the first time this year. First time as a Cub. Just off the inside for ball one. 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Vogelsong. No score in the game. Schwarber hit a 3-run homer last night. That was the big hit. That was the winning hit. And it came back in the second inning. He hit one against the wind way out there into the bleachers. Tomlinson can't handle it. And that's going to be a run. He made the dive for it. Got the glove on it. And it is 1-0 Cubs.
Two things. One, you'd like to see Tomlinson make this play. It's certainly not an easy play. But the other is if you can at least glove it or knock it down, and then you're going to keep that runner from scoring. And neither one of those things happened.
Well, Matt Duffy told me after the game last night that the dirt here at Wrigley is very soft. And I asked him, I said, well, what's the effect of that on the fielder? He says, well, the ball tends to stay down when it hits the infield dirt. It stays down. And it's almost like Tomlinson, he was making a headlong dive. That glove stayed down, and that last hop kind of hopped right over his glove. Anthony Rizzo with a count of 0-1. He is the Cubs slugger, and he's been tough against all comers, but especially against lefties. As we learned last night, he got a base hit against Javier Lopez. .297 average overall, 21 homers to lead the Cubs, 63 runs batted in. Got a .405 on base percentage. His numbers are sensational. Crawford playing almost right up the middle. You can see him there behind Vogelsong. That's back to the screen.
He's also got some ownage on Vogelsong, John. He's 3 for 5 with a double and 2 home runs.
Uh-oh.
So be careful. I mean, that's why if you could get Coghlan, then you could really pitch around Rizzo. But that didn't happen.
Off the fists. Into the crowd. Giants are really playing way off the third base line against Rizzo, with Duffy almost midway between third and second, as you see there. The outfield, though, is pretty much straight away and backed up. Well off the foul lines of both left and right. Cubs already with a run. There is Maxwell in a little bit. So excellent pitch there that Rizzo did well just to get a piece of. Flick of the wrists. He was off balance for that swing. Now Chris Bryant, the first right-handed hitter of the game to come up against Vogelsong. Cubs bunched up 4 lefties at the top of the order. Now the next 3 hitters all bat right-handed. Vogelsong has been pretty effective either way. .257 average against him for the lefties and .242 against the righties. And that's at the knees for a called strike to the rookie. Bryant, who's only 23 years old. First year in the big leagues. He had such a monstrous season in the minors last year. But he has been struggling big time here, especially since the All-Star break. But it really happened a few days before the All-Star break that he kind of plunged into this slump that he's still not been able to get out. Nonetheless, he's got 61 RBIs, even though he began the year. What was it, the first 10, 11 games he was in the minor leagues.
One thing he's got common with Kyle Schwarber, two young guys who both have a great knowledge of the strike zone. Although Bryant had been striking out an extraordinary number of times. Bryant has struck out 131 times. He's only had 357 official at bats. That's a little bit off the outside at 91 miles an hour. 2-1.
Well, I mentioned it last night, and I think the Cubs knew that probably was going to happen with Bryant. But they also realized that he's got the good eye. He'll take his walks, and he's going to knock one out of the park. And if you got power, you're going to play.
Now it's 3-1. Too low with that one at 92 miles an hour. Schwarber hit a double to left center, right up to the base of the ivy out there. And then Coghlan got the base hit just off the glove of the diving Tomlinson to knock him in. Coghlan at first after Rizzo flied out for the second out of the inning. Tomlinson is playing almost right up the middle for this right-handed hitter. Right to Crawford. Over to Tomlinson, covering for the force out on Coghlan. But a run for the Cubs. The Giants are playing from behind as Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, and Brandon Crawford get ready to bat against Lester.
Giants will set sail on Sunday, December 6th. Celebrity Silhouette. You can join myself, John, and Dave Fleming. Call 800-670-0858 or visit sfgiants.com/cruise.
Buster Posey against John Lester. Ball one. 1-0. The Cubs are leading. I've been in that ship, by the way. Excellent.
Supposed to be gorgeous.
Shallow right center. Soler, the wind carries it away and he can't get it. And it ended up more in center field than anything else. But Dexter Fowler, the center fielder, watched Soler, who seemed to at first be right under it, and then the winds of Wrigley carried it away from him.
Well, it first looked like, all right, this is a can of corn. Now it's not so much a can of corn. And now Fowler's going, uh-oh. And Lester stands on the mound with his hands on his hips. So he's not really happy with the pitch that he made. And now he's not really happy with the two outfielders. Can't blame him.
Well, when you look at that replay, the thing that stands out is he was coming almost straight in right field. And then the ball ended up in center field. Ball one to Hunter Pence.
Well, there goes the no-hitter.
And you think about that with Lester, especially against the Giants. He's faced them twice, and the Giants have done nothing against him. 1 run against him in 17 and a third innings in 2 previous starts when he was with the Red Sox. Foul tip on a high fastball.
Clearly, they didn't hit enough pop-ups in those 2 games.
We have seen things like that happen on some balls in the air at AT&T Park on occasion.
Absolutely.
But that's a pretty good win. Now, Hunter Pence put on a show in batting practice today, as he often does. There is Schwarber. That one got in on the hands of Hunter Pence, and that'll happen to a lot of right-handed hitters against John Lester. So 1 away, and here's Brandon Crawford. Pence hit one off that big new video board out there in left center field during batting practice. Crawford, 263, 19 homers, 69 runs batted in. They have all of his particulars up on that big board. See where it says Pete's Coffee there? He hit one up on that end of that big board. Pretty good shot. Into right field. Posey's not a fast runner, but he's being waved. Soler with a strong arm. Not in time. It's 1-1. Brandon Crawford, the RBI man, again.
Well, he didn't wait around. Here's our forward right choice, Brandon Crawford, RBI number 70. So Crawford laying in the weeds on the first pitch and just drives it through the infield, which is not a quick infield. And Posey scores easily.
Buster Posey beat this throw by plenty. It was a good strong throw from Soler, very accurate. And here comes Brandon Belt. The only 2 lefties in the Giants order are Crawford and Belt. Crawford has just had an amazing road trip so far.
Unbelievable. Well, with Belt's ability to go the other way, that's the way the wind is blowing. If you can get one up to left field, you got a shot.
Both he and Crawford have been hitting home runs to left field on this trip. Along the left field line, foul and out of play. Bell with 13 homers, 14 homers, 48 batted in. He hit number 14 last night to the opposite field here at Wrigley out in left center. Crawford was getting a long lead at first, almost as if daring Lester to make a throw over there.
And you know how hard it is, John, to take a lead and to convince yourself that he's not going to throw to first.
When you get both feet beyond that cutout the way he is right now, that's a very long lead. But Lester does not make throws to first. There goes Crawford. Ross's throw. And he's out. Pretty good tag made by Addison Russell on a wide throw.
Now that's an athletic play by the kid at short, because this is a bad throw and he just gets him before he gets into second.
Giants are looking at that in the video room. Did he get him?
Yeah, he got him on the arm. Right here, watch the shoulder, arm. That's
there you go.
Really nice play.
On Belt, short hop by Coughlin, and the Giants are retired. 1-1 the score. Soler coming up against Vogelsar.
Brought to you by Bay Area Mini.
Well, log on to csnbayarea.com as insider Alex Pavlovich provides wire-to-wire reporting of the Giants this season with breaking news, video special features, and more only on csnbayarea.com.
If you're a Giants fan, he is a must-read. If you're on Twitter, you must follow him. Soler right up the middle. Tomlinson, a long throw, and it wasn't going to be in time anyway. Soler's a fast runner.
Now, you'd like to be able to have the time to know where the throw is going to go so you can slide away from the tag, but as a base runner you just don't have that much time to do that. Otherwise Crawford would have easily made it by sliding to the inside part of the bag.
You're used to seeing infielders, most infielders are on the inside of the bag, on the sort of the pitcher's mound side of second base, and he was making the slide to the outfield side of the bag, but that's where Russell had to go to get that wide throw. David Ross with a runner at first and a count of 0-1. Veteran catcher, guy who's very familiar, having worked with the Red Sox with the Cubs starter today, John Lester, the former Red Sox lefty. And that's off the inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. They figured out a way today to get both Coghlan, who's the normal left fielder, and Schwarber, who's the now has evolved into the regular catcher here lately, into the lineup at the same time with Ross playing, with Schwarber in left and Coghlan moving to second base. And Vogel's off the inside. 2-1. This guy has 1 homer in 102 official at bats this year, but he has a lot of power. He's a very dangerous hitter, especially on a day like today where the ball figures to carry well to left field. Lester, the pitcher, is on deck. 3-1.
Well, you can't walk this guy. You got the pitcher on deck. If you do that, then you're playing right into this whole the pitcher hitting eighth, which I know there's supposed to be 10 good reasons why you hit a pitcher eighth, and I don't buy any of them.
Off his foot, that's foul ball. 2-2, and he's trying to shake it off. That he's hurt and hurting.
Well, he's thinking, I just took the shin guards off. I wish I would have left them on. Right off the top of the foot.
He has sort of a wry smile on his face, almost as if having a smile about the absurdity of being a catcher.
Yeah.
I'm hurting badly, and nobody cares, not even my own manager.
Nobody cares. You're right.
If you're a catcher, of course you're hurting. Back to the bag is Soler. Soler has 3 steals this year. 3-2 the count to Ross. So we'll keep an eye on Soler, who might take off here. He's lengthened his lead just a little bit. He's not going. Strike 3 call. One down.
Yeah, that's the second 3-2 strikeout that Vogelsong has gotten where the Cubs hitters went down looking.
And looking at a pitch right in the corner that was a strike. This one wasn't even really on the corner. It was out over the outer third of the plate. Well on the plate, according to the pitch FX. There's a foul back to the screen. Lester trying to move that runner over with an actual hitter. Addison Russell coming up next. Lester's had 1 hit in 39 at bats and only 3 successful sacrifice bunts laid down. Big sea of orange down the left field line. That's down towards Ferris Bueller country, isn't it? Remember, I suppose you and I, we can't bring that up with Dave. He swung at that one. Bunt was taken off. Count is 0-2. That movie came out about 1984, so it is a long time ago. Still on TV all the time. It has a great scene in the movie. Ferris Bueller takes a day off from high school and comes out here to Wrigley Field with his friends.
Also, those are the Bartman seats.
They are.
Yep.
Very historic section in Wrigley. Strike 3 call to Lester. That is the Bartman seat right there with Giant fan in it.
I think Bartman could come into this ballpark, put a Giants jersey on. He could sit down there and nobody'd know who he was.
That might, and maybe that's him.
Could be him. Aged a little bit. This whole thing is taking its toll. That could be him.
I saw a documentary about him. So sad, and really an air of tragedy to it.
Well, the part you didn't see, John, is he's turned into a Giants fan. Big Giants fan now.
Strike 1 to Addison Russell.
Started about, I don't know, 2010.
2010. When he comes to a game, they usually set him 20, 30 rows back from the field. 0-2 the count.
I just think the guy got singled out, and it really didn't have to happen.
And it would have been the third out if Moises Alou had caught that ball, and that's where Cubs fans were looking for a scapegoat, I guess. But
there were like 5 other guys reaching for the ball too.
The Cubs had about 10 more chances to get that third out, and it included booted ground balls and bad pitches, and that whole inning just disintegrated right after that.
It was a disaster.
And I think Moises Alou, the left fielder, who was going for the ball, he felt bad for Bartman afterward and came out and said, I couldn't have caught that ball, which I'm not buying that personally. But I think it was his effort to try and diffuse just all the incredible grief that surrounded Bartman.
Well, they had another game they could win right after that.
They did. Caught by the dive of Matt Duffy. Addison Russell blistered that one, and Matt Duffy made a Gold Glove quality play.
And you're right, across his body, nice play. Vogelsong waited for him. He said, thank you very much.
Come in next Thursday for a 4-game set, and on Saturday the 15th, the first 40,000 fans receive a 2-for-1 flight voucher from Virgin America, and on Sunday the 16th, the first 20,000 fans receive a Juan Marichal replica statue courtesy of Coca-Cola. SFGiants.com/tickets, and we'll look for you at AT&T Park. Maxwell, the hitter, third inning, 1-1 the score. And with great pleasure, I give you, for the play-by-play, Dwayne Kuiper.
And a called strike, and it's 0-1. Maxwell hitting .221.
I didn't want to give you to Dwayne in too much of a timely fashion.
Shot, caught, knocked down by Bryant. He's going to pick it up, and they just got him. So Duffy diving towards the third base line. That's his catch. And Bryant knocked his down. Giants are taking a look at it. And Bruce Bochy's coming out.
I thought from up here that he was going to be called safe.
And now Bruce Bochy's going back in the dugout.
Well, yeah, I think he was out. Out by a couple of inches. Yeah.
I think it was a good call. So
Great call by Field and Culbreth.
So here's Vogelsong. Vogelsong batting with one out. And it's low.
That ball really handcuffed Chris Bryant. It must have had some sort of amazing movement on it.
And a lot of times, John, those are the ones that do move, but also you get the white shirts in the background during day games, and it can mess with you.
So maybe it did come out of somebody's white shirt, and that can be a terrifying moment. As hard as that ball was, that ball probably hit 100-something miles an hour right at him.
There's a strike to Vogelsong. This is how fast it got on Bryant. It did look like it sunk a little. Vogelsong on the ground. Rizzo's got it. 2 outs. Unless they're not fooling anybody here in the third.
That one took a bad hop and it started to shoot right over the right shoulder of Rizzo, and he showed his quick hands. The glove had just shot up and somehow speared that one.
Soler was also charging hard. I think he was thinking, I'm going to throw this guy out at first. So here's Pagan. And this ball is stung. Pagan bounced out to third. And he takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Looked a little easier in slow motion than in real life, and that one came off the grass, right near the edge of the grass.
One and one to Angel Pagan with Tomlinson to follow. A 1-1 game here in the third. Outside 2-1.
Giants have some guys who've had an excellent road trip. They've scored a lot of runs in this trip overall. But Pagan is not one of the guys who's done well. He's 3 for 19 so far on the trip.
Just hits the outside corner. 2-2. Got a piece off the shin guard of David Ross. It remains 2-2.
By the way, on the MLB app on your iPad or iPhone or whatever your device is, they have a part now. It's called the feed if you're watching the game cast or the game day. But the line drive hit by Maxwell to Bryant, 101 miles an hour.
Full count.
Even the ball hit by Vogelsong for that quick hop to Rizzo, that left Vogelsong bat at 93 miles an hour. As you say, he did not fool either one of those first 2 hitters.
Did not. See what he does here to Pagan, 3-2. And Pagan taps it foul, so he stays alive. Nestor's done a good job of really limiting his pitches. Only 34 here with 2 outs in the 3rd. Pagan hits one high and deep and on the track. Gets caught. Pagan hit it well, but it came up short.
Area is brought to you by Casino Matrix, Silicon Valley's premier 24/7 entertainment destination.
Here in Chicago, it's a 1-1 ball game.
You see how the outfield fence curves inward, and it's maybe 12 to 15 feet shorter to the right of that than to the left of it. But Pagan hit that ball. He pulled it a little bit too much. It's what, 355 to the left field corner, and it's actually shallower to the right of where he hit that ball than even into the corner. 350 something to the foul pole in left field. The power alley in left center is only 368.
Yep.
It's a very odd ballpark. And Pagan would have had a home run, but he pulled the ball just a little bit too much.
He did. Fowler takes inside. Here's where it ended up. Schwarber goes back. It just almost looked like Schwarber guided that ball away from that short porch.
Well, truly, the wind might have pushed it.
It's pulled foul. It could have. You're right.
That wind's coming across, sort of from the right field foul pole toward the left field foul pole. It might have been pushing it toward the stands at the same time pushing it further toward the corner with that crosswind. You see it, the retired numbers up in the right field foul pole. Greg Maddux, Billy Williams up there. Ryan Sandberg. Left field, they got Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, and Fergie Jenkins. Retired numbers on the left field. And you see that there's the left field foul pole. Banks, Santo, and Jenkins. We've had some great players here in Chicago.
And Pagan puts it away.
Sun's out again. We've had the cloudiness, and we saw that replay of Pagan's ball. It looked like there was an overcast. The sun was hidden, but it's the bright sunshine right now.
Dave Fleming will be in the 4th. He'll be here the 4th, 5th, and 6th. John will be back in the 7th inning. Schwarber, who doubled into the gap in left center field in the first. Giants are kind of going to school on how to pitch this guy.
Yeah, they're not getting good grades so far.
No. Well, thrown right down the middle. Perfect. No balls and 1 strike.
Okay, they got that figured out.
All right.
Doesn't like pitch right down the middle.
Scouting report has come in finally.
All right, so what is that? He meant he was waiting for a breaking ball. Yep. He didn't swing at that.
Absolutely. And then throw another one there.
Well, and that's smart, right?
Unbelievable. You really don't want to see another one there.
He may not take this one if it's right there again.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, I saw that happening. I knew he would take that one right in there.
He's not happy with the call, but that's a strike. And Buster Posey didn't want that pitch there. He wanted it off the plate. I think Schwarber looked back to see where Posey was as opposed to where the pitch was and said, well, that's got to be outside.
So he may have. So you think maybe he peaked? Because why would he not swing at it?
Well, he peaked. I'm saying he peaked afterward. He looked after the pitch went by him. He was like, well, look at Posey. He's way outside.
But I don't understand with 2 strikes why you would take that one anyway.
Yeah. 1-0 to Coghlan. Coghlan singled off the glove of Tomlinson. Here he is. Rockets went into center field. Coghlan's 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo. So Rizzo will hit a fly ball to left field in the first. And steps up with Coghlan, who's got 10 steals on the year. He's been thrown out twice. And the pitch, and it's high for a ball, 1-0. Vogelsong with 48 pitches. I'm sure he knows the history. That Rizzo's got a little bit of ownage on him. Tomlinson out in shallow right field. And that backdoor misses. Vogelsong thought he had a strike. It's 2-0. Cubs with 4 hits, the Giants with 2. Overshift is on for Rizzo. It's 3-0. Vogelsong snaps at the ball as he gets it back from Buster Posey. Strolling along, 2 outs and nobody on, and now it's 3-0 to Rizzo after Coghlan lines a single into center field. Foul back. Rizzo with the green light. It's 3-1. Coghlan showing no signs that he's going to take off. Belt holding him tight. He does not go. Swing. And going to miss 3-2. And be careful with that pitch. Rizzo's a really, really good low ball hitter.
It's amazing how far into the outfield Tomlinson is playing.
And I think it's too far, John. And if you're not used to it,
I mean, he's 35 feet or more into the outfield.
It's too far. The pitch, swing and a miss. It doesn't matter. Rizzo strikes out to end the inning. We'll say goodbye to John for now. Dave Fleming will be in here in Chicago is 1-1. Over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV for details. 1-1 ball game here at Wrigley Field. Dave Fleming joins us. The hitter is going to be Kelby Tomlinson. Oh yeah, wearing it nicely.
It is a pretty orange Friday in Chicago.
It is. Tomlinson sharply to right. That's 4 straight balls that have been hit extremely hard off of Lester, and the Giants have the middle of the donut to show for it.
Keep hitting them hard, and something good will come of that.
Here's Duffy.
There's the biggest block of orange.
I was telling John, you know, Bartman's sitting in that group with a Giants t-shirt on, right?
That's how he gets into Wrigley.
That's it. Big Giants fan now. Duffy bouncing back to Lester in the first. Shows bunt, and he takes wide, 1-0.
Somebody said he moved to Dallas or something like that.
Yeah. We figured that might be him. He just aged a little bit. Strike to Duffy. Buster Posey to follow. Not close. Lester not happy with himself. Another sellout crowd. I mean, the only empty seats around here are seats that are not in the ballpark. They're over the fence out in the seats, the rooftop seats. Sharply hit, fair. Right over the bag into the bullpen. Knocks around in the bullpen, and Duffy has got a leadoff, make that a 1-out double.
Keep hitting it hard. That's right. And at some point you get rewarded for it.
I mean, he just reaches out. It's one of the few that you'll see a ball away that he'll pull. So that clearly must have been an off-speed pitch. Right over the bag, and here's where the bullpen starts to scramble.
Well, you're right. If he gets a fastball away, he hits it to right field.
Yeah. Buster Posey picked up a nice double on a pop-up that wasn't caught. And he takes a pitch on the inside corner for a strike.
I went with he hit it high enough to where the wind really played havoc with it.
Well, somebody should have caught it, either Soler or Fowler. Neither did. It really hacked off Lester. Now, 2 pitches that were perfect. And that's what Lester likes to do. He likes to throw that cutter right in on the hands of those right-handed hitters. And now Lester's in the hole. They're going in again. In the dirt. This time a breaking ball. 1 and 2.
Well, these are those at bats. Posey leads the National League with batting average, runners in scoring position, hitting over 400.
Well, he's got good speed at second. The outfield is straight away. Pence to follow. See where Ross sets up. They're going away. 2 and 2. That's one of those where who's going to get the call? Is it going to be the veteran pitcher, or is it going to be now the veteran hitter? Both with pretty good resumes. Up the middle, but right there is Coghlan. Coghlan will make the play, and Duffy moves to third. So here's Pence. Pence hit a fly ball to left field. John mentioned what a show he put on during batting practice. Hit the scoreboard, or not the scoreboard, the new board in left field. One for 10 lifetime against Lester. And a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Well, he swung the bat extremely well last night. You look at that video board and you think, man, how do you hit one up there?
Yeah. Look out. Nice play by Ross. That almost went to the backstop. Now that last pitch was at 95, so you can see Lester's got it in there if he wants to throw it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good example of why Ross catches Lester and why late in games he comes in for Schwarber. He's still a really good defensive catcher.
And Ross is going to go out.
It was big news today in Chicago, and I mean big news. When the lineup came out and they asked Joe Madden about Starlin Castro not being at shortstop, and Madden answered and said, this is not a day off. We may be doing this a lot more here now, and he's not swinging the bat, and it's playoff push time. These are big games. We're not messing around.
Well, he wasn't messing around last night, taking Hamill out of the game.
Hey, he's like a quarterback. He's got the play calls on his wrist.
On the ground to third. Bryant's going to have to charge and go, and they got him. And that'll end the inning. Bryant's going to lead things off.
take you back to 1989, the NLCS game one right here at Wrigley. Giants Cubs. Will Clark, what a game! Double to knock in a run in the first, solo home run in the third. How about his night? It was amazing. And this is really the crux of the story, where Will was standing in the on-deck circle. They have a visit at the mound, bases loaded. He read his lips. He knew what Maddox was going to do, and he hits a grand slam in that emphatic Giants win. He was 13 for 20 that series against the Cubs.
Wow. Well, Mark Grace was good that series, too.
He was.
Here's Bryant. Outside, 1-0. Bryant bounced out to Crawford to end the first. This might be adventurous for somebody.
Yeah.
Well, no, well, not for Belt. What am I talking about?
Well, that NLCS MVP performance. Jeff Leonard, Will Clark, Benito Santiago, Cody Ross, Marco Scudero, Madison Bumgarner. That's the list in National League Championship Series of Giants MVPs. It kind of runs the gamut, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't always have to be a huge superstar who's your MVP.
Absolutely not. It was in the case with Will.
Yeah.
And at that point, Will was one of the top 2 or 3 players in the game.
You could have made a case he was the best overall hitter in the game.
Yeah. Here's Soler, who had an infield hit in the second. Grace went 11 for 17.
So Will was 13 for 20. Grace was 11 for 17. He could not get the first baseman out.
They were the talk of baseball in that series. Today, Vogelsong has been hitting the corners, and when he misses, he doesn't miss by a whole lot. Like that. David Ross is on deck. See what Vogelsong does now. 3-1. Wimble will try to push this one back, but it's going to be out of play. An area towards some orange and black shirts. Giants fans came up with the baseball.
Well, it was only 76 degrees at game time. Everybody's looking a little baked out there in the Chicago sunshine. Sunscreen.
Break it out. 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Another foul ball down the right field line, and another souvenir.
Cubs are waiting for this guy to break out because they do believe he's got all the ability in the world. He looks the part.
Yes, he does. And the payoff, here it is. And the walk. So Vogelsong's been pretty good on 3-2 pitches, but that time he just missed. So here's Ross.
Well, we are all wondering, and these two guys are going to make the determination. Basically, they're just going to watch the game and see how it plays out. But how long Vogelsong can hang in there? It's been a month, basically, since he started a game.
Well, he's at 62 pitches.
He's done a good job.
I mean, he's been fabulous. Ross struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch. Soler's got 3 steals in 4 attempts. On the ground, foul. Into a really enthusiastic Cubs bullpen. They've done this before, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No balls and 1 strike. Lester's on deck. Way outside. Yeah, you can't move. Well, you know what? You get punished by getting 2 ankle breakers and not just 1.
They weren't worried about their ankles.
Yeah, covering up. Swing, ain't gonna miss. All right, here we go.
Ankle, not high priority. It's
a lively bunch down there.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Dodgers tonight in Pittsburgh. Kershaw, Cole. Pretty good matchup.
Awesome.
Hit out to Hunter Pence. And now Pence, who acted like he didn't see it. And then Pagan was like, whoa! And he came racing over. So here's Lester.
Well, one thing we've talked a lot about the Giants' schedule and how hard it is for the next month through August, all the contending teams, no teams below 500. It is a different story for both the Cubs and the Dodgers. The Cubs have a stretch of 19 days in a row. They're not leaving Chicago. Hey, look who's here.
Dave Benzer's here with his wife Madison. Benny. Benny always looks better when he's got that camera in front of him. But he's been a great friend and a terrific cameraman since I started broadcasting. Good pitch to Lester, and it's 0-2. Dave Benzer, cancer survivor. 0-2 pitch. Fouled off of Buster Posey. We'll do it again. Fans cheer balls that Lester fouls.
Well, I was here about a month ago, and he still had not had his first career major league hit. And he pitched a game that I worked, and his at-bats, the place, there was people were practically standing up during his at-bat. He was like 0 for 60 in his career, and now he finally does have 1.
Yeah.
He's got 1.
And that'll do it.
He's got 1.
6 strikeouts for Vogelsong for the Giants. Crawford, Belt, Maxwell, and maybe more coming up. with the Cubs. Our goal is to win the division, but if it comes down to the wild card, this is a team we'll have to beat. Could be right, Brandon Belt. You could be right. Here it's a 1-1 ball game as we head to inning number 5, and it'll be Crawford, Belt, and Maxwell. And to tell you about it, here's Dave Fleming.
It's a Ferris Bueller kind of day, isn't it? Friday afternoon, cut out of work, sit in the bleachers.
Absolutely.
Brandon Crawford has gone to work again. He got his 70th run batted in of the year his first time up. He knocked in Posey. That's the only Giants run. 19 home runs, 70 batted in for Crawford. And he swings away at that first pitch. A pop up. See if that wind can push it away. It does. Our Togo's big play, the Togo's way. We have to go back all the way to last night. Brandon Crawford, a smash. Man, did he hit it hard. Off of Tommy Hunter up into the bleachers in left center. His 4th home run of the road trip. He and Belt have been swinging the bat with power. So there are the pitch locations for the 4 home runs on this road trip. Teams have been pitching him away, and he has been beating them on those pitches. And I think you can say the same thing about Belt, where he has used left and left center as a home run porch. Crawford chased one there. 1-2.
Well, Belt really goes the opposite way more than, at least balls hit in the air, than Crawford does.
But on this trip, that has kind of changed a little bit. He swings and misses here. That was a good curveball. Second strikeout for Lester.
Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. Last night, Belt's home run off of Jason Hamill, his 4th home run on this trip. Just carried out into left field.
Not exact carbon copies, Crawford and Belt, but when you consider they've each hit 4 home runs on the road trip and how similar those two looked. The Brandons doing work. Belt takes that curve for a ball. That was the even slower curveball. It was usually 75 miles an hour or so. That was 70.
He doesn't throw it very often.
No. Belt chased. So Belt's home runs on this trip are in gray there. You see, before this trip, most of his power to the pull side. On this trip, all 4 to either straightaway left or left center. And I think he's making that adjustment to teams. They notice that spray chart. They say, okay, we're pitching him in. He's pulling the ball over the right field wall. So they stay away. And now he's hitting the ball hard away. 2-1 in the dirt. Ron Wotus, Bam Bam Mulens.
I think Wotus is putting gray stuff in his hair. It's either that or it's life as a bench coach.
He's been around a while. Belt to center. That one hit hard, but Fowler will get there. And Belt's 0 for 2, even though he's hit it real hard both times.
Yeah, just keep hitting the ball hard. There's Woody.
So he's adding to that look, huh? Yeah.
I think somebody said to him, you know, when he started to get a little gray, somebody said, you know, Ron, you look really sophisticated when you got a little gray in your hair. And then he just overdid it. It's like when my wife 20 years ago said, you know what, you look smarter with glasses. That was it. I'm wearing them all the time.
Maxwell takes a curve and no swing on appeal, says Field and Culbreth. You do look pretty smart in those glasses.
Well, thanks. It's been that way for about 20 years now.
Justin Maxwell hits with those glasses on. And he hit the ball hard in his first at bat. Bryant either lost the ball in the sun or a T-shirt in the backdrop in the stands, and Maxwell almost beat it out. Bryant sort of knocked it down, picked it up, and threw him out. The 8th place hitter. Strike 2 swinging. And it is always big, even with 2 outs and nobody on. If that 8th place hitter can reach base, at a minimum, you turn the lineup over, and it doesn't force the pitcher to lead off the next inning. In a National League game, that can be a big play. We'll see. 1-2. Good check swing on a changeup that had to be tempting. Two-two pitch. Maxwell to center field, carrying well. Fowler all the way back to make the catch. Right in front of the ivy.
Keep hitting the ball hard.
That's the theme. Giants still in a 1-1 tie. Game, Scout and Barrington from Phoenix, Arizona. They love their Giants. Yeah, sort of decked out. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag CSNBA DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
Scout and Barrington.
I guess they count as fans. Orange and black is everywhere at Wrigley. Out in the bleachers.
Put a shirt on.
Good idea. Curveball to Addison Russell for a called strike. Almost always a good idea.
Put a shirt on. Put a shirt on. Killing me.
Russell rolls one toward third, but foul. Boguson backed up the first curve with another one. Big play in this game was when Russell was at the plate his first time. The Cubs had a runner at first, 2 down. He hit a bullet down the third base line, and Matt Duffy made a diving catch. But that runner going on contact with 2 down, that gets by Duffy. That may well have been a run. 1-2. He can maybe pull it off.
Yeah. I arm wrestled that guy.
How'd that go?
Pretty good. He actually declined.
Russell, base hit.
Yeah, came on an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah. So the 9th place hitter is aboard. Now the top of the order hitters come up. And Russell's a guy you got to pay attention to him because he does have pretty good speed. Tie game. We're in the 5th inning. Russell has just 2 steals, though, so even though he's got some decent speed on the bases, he has not yet really learned how to be a base stealer. We'll see if the Cubs think about putting a play on with Fowler, who is 0 for 2. Fowler goes up like he might bunt and gets buzzed by a high tight fastball.
I wonder if that was put on by Joe Madden or if Fowler was thinking about doing that on his own.
I'm thinking the latter. Foul ball. I mean, it's funny, the kid's only been in the big leagues for a month, but if you bunt Russell to second, you open up first base, and Kyle Schwarber coming up. The Giants, I mean, they probably wouldn't out and out intentionally walk him, but you really invite a team to pitch around him.
Or, yeah, pitch carefully, absolutely.
And right now the Cubs want that guy swinging the bat. 1-1 from Vogelsong. That was a bluffed a throw behind Russell. 2-1. And this is what we were talking about. Vogelsong, in a normal situation, if he had stayed in the starting rotation, probably you wouldn't see the bullpen going, but he has not started a game in almost a month. So you start to worry now is the time where there could be some fatigue. Affeld's getting loose. That left-handed part of the order lined up after Fowler. He hits that one foul. And I don't know, it's possible that no matter what happens with Fowler here, that Affeld's coming in the game.
Absolutely. That's John mentioned that earlier, the last start for Vogelsong against the Phillies.
Right before the All-Star break. Tim Hudson was ready afterwards. They put Hudson in, took Vogelsong out. That one is off the inside. This becomes a big pitch in this game right here.
And now you would think that Russell is going to go. And now you need one of those atom balls at Bell.
We'll see if he's going. Maybe a slightly bigger lead for Russell. He's not going. And Fowler pulls it. Still 3-2.
A little lower.
Yep.
All right, kid brought his glove, and I'm thinking that that's where it belongs if you bring your glove. Looked like a good glove, too.
Another big pitch here. Russell again not going anywhere. Fowler down the right field line. That is trouble for the Giants. It's off the wall. Russell coming to third. He'll get the stop sign. Into second, Fowler. And now the Giants have problems.
And I mentioned Vogelsong so good with the count 3-2. But this look at went right into the hit me zone for Fowler. See where it was. Yep. Down and in, away from Buster Posey's target. And that's the happy zone for Fowler.
Yeah, it's kind of the one spot when he bats left-handed where you feel like he can really beat you.
Meeting on the Mound is brought to you by Ring Central, a leader in team communications. And Bruce Bochy's coming out.
Yeah. So this was a meeting just to give Affeld a couple more pitches to get ready. Vogelsong's not happy. It's hard to expect a lot more. But here in the 5th inning, maybe ran out of gas. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. We'll be back. AFL coming in right after this. Jeremy Affeldt comes to the game. Vogelsong gave the Giants 4+, but Affeldt inherits a jam. Jeremy, the numbers overall still don't look great. 1-2, 5.47 ERA, but he has pitched much better since coming back off the DL. I saw him in the game last night. He threw 17 pitches, pitched a scoreless inning. This will not be easy, though. Affeldt has to face the big hitters. Schwarber, Coghlan, Rizzo are all lined up. And the Cubs have second and third, nobody out. In a lot of ways, because you still have a long way to go in this one. We're only in the 5th inning. This is about damage control. Don't let this become a big inning.
Right. And it's clear that your point well taken, just because of how Bruce Bochy's playing the infield.
Yeah.
He's playing the infield back with the exception of Duffy.
And the Giants don't have to be ultra aggressive against Schwarber here, who has been really, really impressive. See how Affeldt goes after him. First pitch, way inside.
Well, that was an odd pitch. It was at 85.
Yeah.
I've never seen Affeldt throw anything 85.
He's got the slower curveball or the harder sinker and fastball. That's the fastball at 91 for a strike.
Well, eventually, Schwarber's going to see that hard curveball. The one that'll buckle hitters, and it may be that he's going to try to save it until he gets ahead of Schwarber.
2 on, nobody out. 1-1. Well, he used it there. Schwarber, did he hold up? No. That's a swing. Cubs fans cannot believe it.
From that angle, it's hard to tell. But I trust Manny Gonzalez. He's one of the best at the check swing call. Yeah, he did not go.
Totally trustworthy. 1-2. We'll see if he throws it again. It's a fastball, ground ball, diving, and Tomlinson can't come up with it. And that will score 2. Schwarber does it again. Cubs 3, Giants 1.
Nice effort by Tomlinson, but you have to keep that ball from getting into the outfield. I mean, if you get your glove on it, you got to stop it.
Yeah, one run was going to score there.
Yep.
And maybe you don't even have a real good shot to get Schwarber out. There he goes, and Affeldt throws to Belt, who's got to get there quickly. Not in time. He just kept going.
Well, Belt's usually good at getting the ball out of his glove, but he wasn't very good there.
He was not.
I mean, the Giants are going to take a look at it, but just a little bit of a double clutch. And he made it.
Yep. That took Affeldt a while to actually get the ball over there, and then Belt had that little double clutch. And that's the margin for error in the big leagues. That's, you got to be just about perfect, even on a play like that. Oakland shows bunt. Actually made contact with the ball as it was coming right toward him.
Well, that's what happens sometimes when you square around. You have to be careful because you have nowhere to go. It wasn't that bad of a pitch. It just came close to hitting him on the hand. That's why it looked so dramatic.
You got Petit getting ready. You have one more left-handed hitter after this one, Anthony Rizzo. And then the right-handers start once again. Cubs have gone ahead looking for more. Runner at second, still nobody out. Well, he did get ahead of Schwarber, but he gave up hard contact. Giants couldn't make the play. Now Schwarber with the base running to move himself into scoring position. They have fallen in love with this kid in Chicago. Topper foul on another curve.
Well, it's a close game. And if you can limit the damage to 2, you're still okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Giants have had good at-bats against Lester. No telling how long Lester's going to be in the game, but
the 1-2. Coughlin, a big chopper. Belt gets the out at first, but on the play, Schwarber goes to third. And it really is looming large now. We'll see if the Cubs actually cash it in for a run, but the inability of the Giants to get Schwarber when they basically had him picked off. Let's see if Affeldt can pitch through that.
Rizzo's numbers against lefties are very good, so this is going to be a good matchup. Now the infield comes in.
Yeah. When it was tied, they left the infield back, and really the point of leaving the infield back is on a ball like the one Schwarber hit. You have a better chance at least of keeping it on the infield. The Giants could not do that. Now Rizzo, he aggressively goes after that curve. Good pitch from Affeldt. Giants would love a strikeout. That's what you're talking about. It's been a big improvement for him.
Yeah.
It's one of the main reasons why he's had this monster year. 21 home runs, 63 batted in. That one on the ground to first. Belt has it. Schwarber has to freeze. 2 down. Big pitch, big out. Nice job by Affeldt. Must be interesting to see if Bochy wants to bring Petit in right now. Affeldt's never been a guy where Bochy has managed so he cannot face right-handed hitters. Affeldt's always been effective against both lefties and righties. And he's sticking with Jeremy. Ball 1 to Bryant. Bryant 0 for 2. Two and 0. Now this was kind of the at bat you're talking about. Okay, you give up 2 runs, you give up the lead. It's only the 5th inning. Try your best to keep it 3-1. A base hit, no matter where it is going to make it 4-1. Bryant got impatient. Bad sinker, good take by Bryant.
Yeah, he's got a good eye, this kid.
Ball 4. Bochy gave Affeld a chance to get Bryant. He is not going to let him face another right-hander, Soler, and he's going to make a double switch. Maxwell made the final out, so just speculating. Could be that the Giants would send Gregor Blanco in the game. We know they have a new pitcher coming in. Petit. We'll see what the other move is, part of the double switch. Giants in the bottom of the 5th trying to keep it a 3-1 Cubs lead.
May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
On a beautiful Friday afternoon in Chicago, Cubs 3, Giants 1. The Cubs have scored twice here in the bottom of the 5th and are looking for more as the Giants make a double switch. And the new pitcher is the right-hander Yusmeiro Petit.
Well, for Petit, you see his record. Right-handers only hitting .221, and that's the key right here.
Trying to get Soler and get the Giants into the 6th, down just 2. He will throw to 3rd. Remember, you can't bluff that throw any longer. These last few years, they made that adjustment to the rules. And we did say we thought it was going to be Maxwell. I speculated Blanco. It's Aoki who is in left field. He'll lead off in the 6th in the 9 spot of the order. There's a strike to Soler with the cutter.
Well, I thought it was going to be Aoki.
Okay, you win this one. who singled and walked against Vogelsong. Had 2 hits last night. That is strike 2. He went with the curveball and got the call. So Lair thinks that's funny.
Well, borderline. Take the call when you can get it.
Yeah, I think Paul Schreiber has had a pretty strict interpretation of the corners in this game. 0-2 in the dirt with another curve. That wind still blowing across Wrigley from right to left, and I haven't seen that many balls hit in the outfield, but Soler pulls one. He might get a little push down the left field line, maybe. The 1-2. Bryant runs from first. Posey's going to throw there. Not in time. Bryant gets the steal.
I'd like to see where the pitch was. Well, there's a pretty good jump by Bryant. That's 11 steals now for Bryant.
Yeah, he's a good base runner. And with that runner at third, you almost dare the defense to make that throw. And if there's any kind of mistake, well, Schwarber can come home. 2-2. Soler, foul ball. It was a very close pitch. Two runs in for the Cubs. A base hit could make it 2 more. So these are huge pitches in this game from Yusmeiro Petit. Another 2-2. Soler blasts one to left, right over the head of Aoki. He'll make it into second. Both runners score. 5-1 Cubs. That hurts the Giants.
Well, pitch location. Check it out. Not very good.
Not good.
Right into the wheelhouse of Jorge Soler. And the only chance the Giants had is if Soler would have hit this a little lower right at Aoki.
Ross right off the end of the bat. That's trouble. Pagan has to play it on a bounce. Another run scores. 6-1 Cubs. A 5-run inning.
I'll say this about the Cubs. You look at their batting averages, and for the most part, a lot of them are under 250. Here's a guy that's under 200, and he knocks one into center field for a base hit. I mean, maybe he didn't hit it that well, but look, it doesn't matter.
Lester swings and misses.
I mean, they got the big out in this inning, and that was Rizzo.
Yep.
First and third, one out. All right, you're going to keep it to a 2-run lead. You know what? You can get back into that one.
Six to 1 is going to be tough. That's strike 2.
Yeah, and look, I'm not saying the Giants can't come back in this one, but you got to make some decent pitches.
Yeah, there have been 2 real mistake pitches in the inning. One was to Fowler, and then that pitch to Soler. Lester. He does that, and they ooh and ah.
Ooh and ah.
Looking for career hit number 2. But also the Giants' inability to get Schwarber when basically they had him picked off and they didn't get him out.
Yep, that's right.
And that is a very big play in this game. Giants defense on this trip, this has been one of the best defensive teams in the game. And it has not been as good as we expected to be on this road trip. Lester knew it. They started to walk back to the dugout. But the Cubs send 9 to the plate, and they score 5. On to the 6th. Cubs lead 6-1. Erwin Agueros is going to host a Q&A session in both Spanish and English with Bam Bam, Roberto Kelly, Santiago Casilla. A Hall of Famer, Juan Marichal, involved. Special event ticket gets you a Marichal t-shirt, a ticket to the Giants-Nats game. SFGiants.com/special events, the place to go. August 16th. That'll be fun.
Yeah, anything that Erwin hosts is going to be fun.
And the Hall of Famer will be there.
The Hall of Famer will be there.
Giants fans are concerned now. The Cubs' 5-run inning. They have gone ahead 6-1. And a couple mistakes in the midst of that really cost the Giants. Still a lot of outs to go in this game. Aoki will hit for the first time. Came on as part of the double switch. He'll face Lester here, then the top of the order. Giants need Aoki to get the bat going. He gets it going with a ground ball to the hole. Diving effort by Russell, but that's a hit. And usually when we see that, we see more hits start to come from Aoki. You've seen a lot of ground balls to second on this road trip.
Well, you're right, and that's the first. You see Herrera now at second. The first time we've seen Aoki hit that ball in the hole in a long time.
Yeah. Well, he has some numbers against Lester. Now 5 for 10. We'll see if that can start a Giants rally. That's how the Cubs rally started in the 5th. The 9th place hitter with a base hit to set the table for the top of the order. And it was that leadoff hitter Fowler with the double that built the rally. Giants could use that from a struggling Angel Pagan.
That is a fact.
There's a big hole on the right side of the infield. When the cutter comes with a lot of movement off the inside. You see Herrera, the new second baseman, pulled toward the middle, and Rizzo holding Aoki on. Two and one. Could be two. Russell, Herrera, double play. We said a double could be big like Fowler. Not that kind of double. 2 down. Tough times for Pagan. Here's Tomlinson 0 for 2. Lester's only thrown 69 pitches, 68 by that counter. This will be number 69. Good changeup. So he's got a chance to go a long way in this game at this pace. Now pitching with a big lead. Check swing. 1-2.
Well, make them work. If you can get into the bullpen, and maybe that will dictate some positive things for tomorrow.
Strike 3 called. Leadoff hit, but Lester shuts the Giants down. From Chicago, Cubs lead 6-1.
Brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit HEFINS.com. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Well, the Astros are going to make their interleague stop at AT&T Park on the next homestand. Tuesday's a night game. Wednesday a day game at 12:45. Visit sfgiants.com/tickets.
Another first place team, another playoff contending team. Petit stays in, and a smash foul on the first pitch down the third base line. That one would have tested the resolve.
Yeah, somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
and then it won't be that funny.
Not funny if somebody gets hurt. Addison Russell led off last inning with a base hit. This one sends Pagan all the way back near the warning track. One away. Here's Fowler. Fowler's hit was a big part of that 5-run rally.
Well, what the Cubs have done is they've made their hits count. I mean, look, Fowler's hitting .235 coming into the game.
Yeah. Well, they're 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position, so they haven't had a ton of chances. They have 6 runs without a home run, with only 6 at bats with a runner in scoring position the whole game. They're actually 1 for 4 in those at bats, so they have not generated many chances. Another hit for him. And another pitch that kind of came into that zone where Fowler likes it from the left side.
Well, again, Buster Posey set the target away, and again, the ball tails middle in. I guess there's a reason why Buster Posey against Fowler has been putting that target away and not in.
Those are misses. It's not to pile on Petit because he's not the only culprit. But that you're missing by a half a plate. Those aren't missing by an inch or two. Or now Schwarber, who just has tormented the Giants for 2 days. Ball 1.
You know, I said last night that it might be that by Sunday we're going to be sick of seeing this guy. Well, I was off by 2 days.
Took a big rip. This was the home run last night.
Last night he goes to the opposite. Check that. He goes to right center field, and that was into the wind because the ball was not carrying the right center field.
I mean, he crushed that thing. On a normal night without that wind, that would have, who knows where that would have landed. And you watch that pitch. I mean, Heston had all kinds of problems last night. That was not a bad pitch to Schwarber that he hit out. That does give you some insight. Keep the ball away from him, and he can hit it hard. Runner going. Posey can't even get off a throw. It's the third steal for the Cubs in the last 2 innings. They're starting to run wild against the Giants. They're just getting giant jumps. Posey can't even come close. One and two. Might have gotten away with that one.
Well, as good as he's swinging the bat now, you just cannot make any mistakes.
I think Schwarber would like to see that pitch again. He's shaking his head. Better curveball right to Tomlinson. 2 down. Fowler at third. Feels like a major victory these days when you get Kyle Schwarber out.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Jonathan Herrera. Herrera came in for defense in the top of this 6th inning. So this is his first at bat. Fastball low. 91 miles an hour. That's about as hard as we ever see Petit throw a pitch.
I think he's ticked off.
Could be. Very similar spot. This one was the cutter. Strike one call. We used to see Herrera a lot with Colorado. And he had some moments against the Giants with the Rockies. 2-1. That one foul.
Well, when you play in Denver and you get a team that comes in 9 or 10 times, inevitably, whoever it is going to have some moments against the visiting team.
That is a good point.
Big names, obscure names, they're going to have a moment. Ask Ryan Spielborg.
Yeah. I can still see Merkin Valdez out on the mound. Strike 3 swinging. 3 World Series later, not that big of a deal anymore. John's coming back over. Big hitters coming up. 6-1 Cubs.
By your local Toyota dealer. Vogelsong is gone. Lester is still in the game. Schwarber has been a nemesis, and Soler has got a big double to knock in a pair of runs. John Miller is back as Matt Duffy stands in. Giants have lots of work to do. It's 6-1, and there's a breaking ball for a strike. Duffy, Posey, and Pence. The Giants want to get back in this game, then this would be a good time to do it as they come up with their big fellas. Duffy doubled in the 4th inning. Here he shoots one foul. "74 pitches for Lester." He's been on cruise control. In the dirt. Really the only run that he gave up. His defense let him down. They let a pop-up, a wind-blown pop-up fall, and Buster Posey picked up a double. And then Crawford knocked him in. That's it. Only 2 base runners since then. Good take to make it 3-2. And the payoff is outside, ball 4. first walk issued by Lester, and here's Buster Posey.
Only the second time he'd even gone to a full count.
Well, here's Buster Posey.
Buster's got 99 home runs in his career.
Pops this one into shallow right field. Soler coming in. It's going to fall. And Buster's got his second pop-up base hit.
And I think both of them influenced by that wind coming right in from right field. And it's been kind of a crosswind most of the day, in from right across toward left. But I think that ball got knocked down by the wind again.
I think it did.
His first one was a pop-up. This one was over near the foul line. The first one was sort of into straightaway right field. And then the wind just carried it across the field and ended up in center field. And Soler, who had set off after it, then veered off into center and never did catch up to it.
Now you watch Buster and the hits that he keeps getting. That's how you lead the league in hitting. Pence is 0 for 2. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
So he's had a little magic Wandu action today.
Had the Wandu today. I mean, he's had a great trip. But when you go about leading the league in hitting, you need hits like the ones that he's got today.
He's not going to get many infield hits.
No,
we know that. Paul Goldschmidt of Arizona right now is the league's leading hitter, hitting .339. Then Bryce Harper, .334. Now Buster Posey up to .333 with his 2-hit day.
Pence up the middle and a base hit. Here comes Duffy. It's 6-2.
And I think there's some bad luck there for Lester on the pop-up that fell in with the wind knocking it down. This is a ground ball that finds a hole. Could have been a double play ball right at somebody. But what he's really got to be upset about is that walk to the first guy with a 5-run lead. You don't want to walk anybody.
You're right. So Chris Basio's coming out. Well, they get back in this game by keep the line moving, and if you can get somebody to knock one out of the park. It's Crawford stepping up. Crawford's 1 for 2. He knocked in a run in the second, and then he struck out in the fifth.
Josh Osich, who we were told would arrive by game time. Giants just brought him back up from Sacramento. So we know he's here now because he started to warm up in the Giants bullpen along the right field line.
So here's Crawford. And Crawford clearly trying to knock one out of the park, way out in front. No balls and no strikes. Make that no balls and 1 strike. They're your leaders in the National League in runs batted in. 0-2. Staying away from Crawford. Crawford now going to choke up just a little bit on the bat. A walk and 2 singles. Right back to Lester. Out there.
What a play by Addison Russell. Lester, he's the last guy in the world wants to have to start a double play, making a throw. And that throw could have been a disaster, but Addison Russell, he just dropped down, backhanded it, and then he turned it into a double play as if it was a great throw.
Yeah, well, Giants are going to look at this. They're going to look to see about maybe about the play at second, John.
Well, the neighborhood play is not reviewable. However, if the guy pulled off the bag because of a wide throw, that is reviewable. And they are going to review this one at the Giants' request. Did he ever have his foot on the bag before Hunter Pence arrived? Even if they say no, the out at first will stand. But Pence may end up being called safe at second. This replay review is presented by Xfinity. Well, they're showing it on the big screen out there. And he might have come off the bat. We're not seeing it on our monitor, but on the big screen out there in left center field, they showed it. And now he's got it now. And he does not have a foot on the bag.
No.
So this may be a safe call at second base. And Joe Madden has gone out to talk to the plate umpire. Just wanted to know about the neighborhood play, because that's not reviewable. But this was something, if he's ended up being pulled off the bag, it was because of the bad throw. That is reviewable. So the umpires here, it's sort of like they have to decide. They meet and decide, well, was it the neighborhood play or was he forced to come off because of a bad throw? Then they can say, yes, you can review it. Some want to make it mandatory. Well, let the umpires in New York decide both.
So they're taking a long look at it. And while they're doing this, Lester is playing catch with David Ross.
Well, there's a lot at stake here. The Giants, who have visions of a comeback, down 6-2. Now, is the ball firmly in the glove there? Or is the ball sort of in the glove? And he will be called out. So that's what the umpires in New York saw, that shot we just showed.
And Bruce Bochy's not happy. He feels like everything that they saw was that he was not on the bag.
Well, the other thing that has to be determined is the ball firmly in the webbing of the glove at that point. Well, they said yes.
So Belt takes outside for a ball.
There, it's in the glove.
Yeah,
but his foot's on the bag, looks like.
He could be on the bag. And a late call strike to Belt. Well, we know Lester doesn't like to throw to the bases, and it was Russell who really made a nice play. He's made a couple of them today around the bag.
One was on a stolen base attempt by Crawford. It was back in the second inning, a wide throw by David Ross, and he came way off the bag and behind the runner, caught the throw, and then somehow still slapped the tag on him and just got him. So he's made a couple of kind of saving plays for the Cubs today.
Play by Ross, 2-2.
Well, it's like J.T. Snow used to tell the story in his first spring in Yankees spring training. He talked to Don Mattingly, because he was a great first baseman, about making the throw to second to start a double play. And Mattingly said, your guys with the best hands are the middle infielders. Just get it to them in a hurry. They'll handle the rest.
Fast as you can. 2-2 pitch to Belt.
Pitcher's spot due up next in the 8th position in the batting order after an earlier double switch. So Adrianza apparently would bat as Osich continues to heat up in the bullpen. Adrianza would come up if Belt can extend this inning.
Old foul. Belt's had pretty good at bats against Lester. He doesn't have anything to show for it.
He hit one very hard his last time, a line drive caught by the center fielder. Well, an excellent eye there by Brandon Belt. And Adrianza started hitting the ball pretty effectively there when the team was in Atlanta. And in fact, before they got to Atlanta, he scored 2 of those runs on Tomlinson's RBI hits on Sunday.
So here is Adrianza. His average at 216. Chance just to extend the inning with Nori Aoki on deck. Strike, and it's 0-1.
Well, he's hitting 385 on the road trip anyway, so he wasn't doing any hitting at all before the Giants got on this trip. But he would seem to be a little more confident right now the way he's been hitting.
Ross is going to go out. Take a look at his quarterback wrist playbook.
Well, draw play. Going to keep it on the ground, or they're going to throw it.
It's no balls and a strike to Adrianza. One ball and 1 strike.
Well, just a week ago, Adrianza, I think, would have swung at both of those curveballs.
Probably, you're right. He'd been anxious. Now he seems to have calmed down quite a bit. And a swing and a foul back. 1-2.
Well, apparently he was waiting for a fastball to attack. Took those 2 curveballs. Had a pretty good swing at that fastball, too.
Well, there's a big hole between Ross, or make that Rizzo and Herrera. And he stays alive. There's that ball right in on the hands of Adrianza.
Well, that was 94 miles an hour, his 96th pitch of the game. So he has not lost anything in terms of the speed on his fastball. We know that.
They're going in again. 2-2. Nori Aoki to follow if Adrianza extends the inning. Giants have picked up a run here in the 7th.
Well, it looked like Lester wanted that pitch.
He's been begging the whole inning.
Adrianza has had quite an appearance at the plate here, and the Pitch FX on the MLB app showed that ball being several inches off the outside.
Belt goes, swinging a foul.
The right fielder Soler is playing very shallow for Adrianza. Why not? The wind's blowing in from that side. Adrianza has not shown any power. Batting right-handed. There he is. That's how shallow he is. Almost even with the Giants bullpen.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Adrianza. Belt goes. Little pop-up. And that's going to end the inning. Giants pick up a run. It's 6-2 Chicago. The Chicago Cubs, and the new pitcher is Josh Osich. When it's time for a change, think Speedy, oil change and auto service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. You can see what Osich did in 9 games when he was with this club, maybe not more than just a couple of weeks ago. And when they activated Jeremy Aftel, Osich went back to Sacramento. So with Leak going on the DL, it's Osich here to pitch the bottom of the 7th. And it'll be Anthony Rizzo who's going to lead things off. And a called strike.
Second baseman Tomlinson is well out into the outfield again. Maybe 25 feet out there right now.
And the next pitch is down low.
That was his cutter, 91 miles an hour. That first pitch fastball, 96.
Well, there's no doubt this kid throws hard, and he was able to harness it while he was here. There's that cutter again. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Rizzo's been held hitless in 3 at-bats. 2 balls and a strike. Bryant to follow. Foul back. It's 2-2.
Looks like the Cubs activity in the bullpen is the right-hander Tommy Hunter. There he is. Recent acquisition about a week ago from the Orioles in the American League.
Got him. So Rizzo gone. And that'll bring up Bryant. This is what happened today. Leak with the left hamstring, and then Osich from Sacramento.
Leak actually went out to the bullpen this morning and warmed up, and he was having a hard time because it's the left hamstring. That's on his landing leg. So they decided, well, it's better because you're not going to be able to throw on the side or do anything.
And that's fair down the left field line. So Bryant's got his first hit of the game, a double. And that'll bring up Soler. I mean, the whole point is if you can't go, you can't go. But, sit on it for the days that you're on the DL and hope that that's all you're going to miss are those 15 days.
Well, he was going to miss this start one way or the other. His next start would have been probably Wednesday, or I beg your pardon, Thursday. That's 4 games will have come and gone before Thursday against the Nationals, and then he would have been due up on a Tuesday. So he would only miss one extra start if the rest works out as well as the Giants are hoping. There's Leak sitting alongside Billy Hayes.
Here's Soler, who takes a fastball inside for a ball, 1-0. Soler's hurt the Giants. He hurt him last night with a base hit to knock in a pair. And he hurt him in the 5th inning with a base hit, a double to knock in a pair, and that was a 2-out base hit.
He's hurt him in both games of this series. That last pitch looked like it might have been a straight changeup from Osich, which we haven't seen many of those.
Absolutely not. Osich going to spin around and keep an eye on Bryant. That's one of those plays where Bryant doesn't look like he's going to go. Well, then leave him alone. If you get his attention, some guys will go, oh, okay. Swing and a miss.
I think that was another changeup. That was really the only thing that he really did not display. That he had that great fastball and the almost unhittable cutter, and they really wanted him to work on developing that changeup. Well, maybe since he's been down for the last 2 weeks, maybe that's what he's been working on, because he really fooled Soler badly in that last one.
Pop, center field. Pagan will put it away. 2 outs for the catcher David Ross.
I think he got the pop up on a changeup.
Well, Buster's been known to run with a pitch.
Party going on over there. Kind of a party going on in here too. It's just some of us don't feel like it's a really great party so far.
It felt like we crashed the party, weren't invited, and here we are, and nobody's talking to us.
What are all these people so happy about?
Oh, he ain't gonna miss. Ross knocked in a run with a base hit in the 5th. Well, if the Giants don't catch up and take the lead, then it'll be up to Matt Cain tomorrow. Oh, 2.
And that was a changeup. Well, he and Buster are both very confident in that pitch right now.
They are, absolutely.
Buster keeping an eye on Ross before dropping the sign.
And now the runner's going to go, and Bryant beats it.
Well, it just got by him, and Bryant decided to take a shot, and he did look like he beat the play. Did his foot come off the bag, though? Well, the front foot came off, but the back foot was on the bag by that time, so he's safe. Giants are looking at it in the video room. Buster's going to be charged with a pass ball on that.
And it didn't matter, as Ross strikes out to end the inning. 8th inning coming up. John Miller will do the play-by-play. 6-2 Cubs. Reaction analysis is all coming up right after the game. It's a 6-2 lead for the Cubbies. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. So it indeed is going to be the hard-throwing Tommy Hunter, who came over from the Baltimore Orioles. So there you see the numbers for Hunter, and he pitched in the game last night, gave up a couple of runs. Here's the 8th, and here's John.
Aoki leads off against him. And that breaking ball misses. A curveball for ball 1. Aoki came in as part of a double switch in the 5th inning and got an infield hit in his only at bat. That was in the 6th inning. We just met Pat Foley, play-by-play man for the Stanley Cup champion Chicago Blackhawks. He was here to lead the fans and take me out to the ball game in the 7th inning stretch. And it turns out I don't know that he said he was a Giants fan.
Yeah, kind of. He's a Tavo guy.
That is hit well. Deep into right, way back there, and sayonara, Aoki-san. His second home run this week. He hit one in Atlanta. So it is 6-3 Cubs. Aoki with his fourth home run of the year.
Well, Pat Foley shows up and the Giants go yard. Beautiful. Let's take a look at the pitch. Above the belt. Flat swing. Gone. Much like the ball he hit in Atlanta when he hit a home run.
He hit that one just 2-3 nights ago. In the ninth inning of that game against Sean Kelly, a right-hander.
Yeah.
Angel Pagan 0 for 3 in the game. And the breaking ball down and away. By the way, Pat Foley, they've had a lot of excitement. He says every time the Giants win the World Series, the next year the Blackhawks have won the Stanley Cup.
And no wonder he's a fan. I mean, forget about the fact that he's a Tahoe guy. He also said he'd like to say hello to J.O. and Marcy Olson, who live in Tahoe. I guess they're big fans. They watch every game. So we want to tell you that Pat Foley, although he had a Cubs jersey on, maybe underneath he had a Giants t-shirt on.
Well, and we should recognize him. He joined the Blackhawks broadcast room when he was only 26 years old. And last year, a little over a year ago, as the ball is low to Pagan, he was selected as the Foster Hewitt Award winner for hockey broadcasting excellence by the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Well, how much fun has he had? About as much fun as we have had broadcasting.
He really has been a great one. So it was a real pleasure to meet him, because he's on that short list of the great hockey broadcasters of all time. Pat Foley.
I'm a fan now. I mean, we get hockey announcers that come into our booth all the time that say they really like listening to us.
Call us when you're in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Base hit for Pagan, and he is 1 for 4. 6-3 is the score. The Giants need one other base runner to be able to send the possible tying run to the plate, and the Cubs bullpen is busy. And that might be Strope. Here comes Chris Bosio with Tomlinson coming up. Bosio, the pitching coach, out to the mound. And well, that's the closer already, Hector Rondon. Giants were very impressed with what they saw from him last night. Joe Madden. Well, this is interesting. Madden last night brought in one of his best relievers in the 5th inning when the Giants were threatening a comeback. They were down 5-2. It's almost like Madden thought the game needed saving right there, and he brought in Justin Grimm, who's been excellent.
Yeah, and he tipped off one of his starters.
He did. Jason Hamill, the starter, was not very happy about it. Here's Tomlinson. Called a strike. Tomlinson is 0 for 3. Twice he's been called out on strikes. Middle infielders are both pinched toward the middle, so there is a big hole opened up on both sides of the infield, even bigger on the right side with Rizzo on the bag with Pagan. Well, that one laid out over the middle of the plate. That breaking ball fouled out of play. 0-2. So Rondon, the closer, up in the bullpen. But Madden has not really gone with set roles. This guy's not just the closer or the 8th inning guy or the 7th inning. Rondon finished the game as the closer last night. Doesn't mean that he would necessarily finish the game today, although he's a young guy. Joe Madden, who's having the time of his life here in Chicago. 0-2 the count. Slow chop over Rizzo. The throw to first. Safe. Tommy Hunter covering. The throw from Herrera, and it was really a bang play, but Field and Culbreth thought that it was Tomlinson's foot who hit the bag before Tommy Hunter.
Remember, Tomlinson can scoot, although he slipped. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been close. And Joe Maddon's going to have him take a look at it.
Wow. What was that? Well, they're going to have the replay review. The question is, because his foot, the pitcher's foot's got to hit the bag before Tomlinson's foot hits. Now that freeze frame, it looks simultaneous. Well, simultaneous, that would go to the runner. Now there, it might have been the heel, might have been on the bag before Tomlinson arrived. What do you think?
Yeah.
Right there, it looks like he'll be called out. The replay review is presented by Xfinity.
Well, the part of that play that's a shame is Tomlinson slipped. Otherwise, there's no chance of them throwing him out. Remember, it's got to be clear evidence. We saw that when the Cubs asked for a replay.
Well, that angle makes it look like he's going to be called out, and he is called out. Tomlinson didn't think so.
Yep, here's the difference right here. Otherwise, it's not close.
Well, Joe Maddon has decided to make a change here. A run is in, a runner at second. With only one out, Duffy, Posey, Pence coming up, and they are going to make the double switch. And Rondon enters the game. 6-3 Cubs. We'll be right back.
And then we'll have the game for you right at the top of the hour at 1 o'clock. Giants and Cubs right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. It's a 6-3 ball game, and as John mentioned, Rondon comes in. John saw him last night. We're very impressed.
Well, he seemed to have kind of a very easy delivery, and then it's kind of shocking that the ball comes in at 99 miles an hour. Runner at second, one out. Duffy the hitter. He's grounded out, doubled, and walked. If Duffy could get aboard, Buster Posey on deck would be the possible tying run. And the slider is low. Also, when he came in, Rondon we're talking about, Chris Denorfia entered. moving into right field. The pitcher's spot was due up first in the last half of this inning, so now Denorfia in the 8th spot of the lineup, and Soler is now out of the game in the 6th spot. Well, they've got the bullpen cranking hard right now. Back of Rondon, 2 left-handers are both warming up. Clayton Richard on the left, and number 40, Jeff Russell. So we don't know if they're just getting some work in now because he's here for the rest of the game, or if he's just here for the rest of the inning. Along the right field line and back into the crowd. One ball and 2 strikes down to Matt Duffy, who's had a great road trip, hitting .311 for the season.
Well, the Cubs fan got the ball, gave it to a Giants fan.
So it truly is a party here at Wrigley Field.
It is, absolutely.
A lot of goodwill. Oh. Right under the hands to strike him out.
You know, there's that movement that we saw in Crawford's at bat last night. Crawford got it as a left-handed hitter. I'm going to say that that's an impossible pitch to hit. Impossible. With that location.
I think you're right. So now Buster, who is 2 for 3. The slider, the ball 1.
Buster's going to go after the first hittable fastball he sees.
Two down, runner at second. Fastball. And there is Russell. Aoki led off the inning with a home run to make it 6-3, but Rondon puts an end to that budding rally. Last of the 8th now, 6-3, Chicago.
Barry Bonds home run, 756 off of Mike Basic against the Nationals. Set the record, the all-time record. And what a night it was at AT&T Park. It rocked Northern California. And that happened on this date in 2007. Has a lot happened since then.
Barry Bonds moved ahead of the great Henry Aaron with that swing of the bat. A topped the all-time list of home run hitters. That's a called strike from Osich to Chris Denorfia, up for the first time. Just entered the game in the first half of this inning on a double switch. Willie Mays was on the field with a microphone because they had some ceremonies to congratulate Barry. Mays, the great Giants home run slugger, who was ahead of Aaron for most of his career, who might have passed the Babe himself had he not had 2 years removed from his career early on when he went into the military service during the Korean War. Good changeup, and it's 1-2. But Mays' job that night was to keep Barry from going ahead and speaking to the fans because they had a surprise for Barry. The great Aaron himself had pre-taped a congratulatory message that they played on the big screen. And that kind of stole the night.
It did.
Along the right field line, foul. And Henry Aaron congratulated Barry. And he said, I had that record for a long, long time. And now it's time for me to move over. And you have passed that. And I hope you will carry it proudly as I did and use it to do some good things for people as I tried to do. Very magnanimous gesture by the great Henry Aaron that night. From the hole, Crawford's long throw in the dirt, scooped on the bounce by Brandon Belt. One away. Well, we've been watching the young Cubs shortstop Addison Russell, whom they acquired from Oakland last year in the Jeff Samardzija trade. And he was Oakland's best prospect by, I think, all accounts. And they already had a shortstop here, Starlene Castro. But we're getting a look at Russell at short, and it is pretty impressive. Talking with Joe Madden, his manager, before the game, about him at short, he said, oh, he's the real deal. He's a tremendous shortstop.
And now Lester and Russell on the same team.
Lester and Addison. Lester got acquired by the Athletics from the Red Sox to further bolster their rotation. They didn't get just Samardzija. They got Hamlin on that deal too. And then they got Samardzija. Part of that deal was that they traded away their cleanup hitter, Cespedes. Now the Cubs have both Lester and Addison Russell. But they've been all about getting guys, as many as they could corral, either in the draft or in trade. Guys like Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, Kyle Schwarber. And there are more still in the pipeline. 2-2. There's that cutter from Josh Osich.
Well, it may be, just may be, that the Cubs are a year ahead of where they thought they might be, but they're starting to sniff it now.
2-2. Strike three called on the changeup. But I think they probably have arrived a little bit ahead of schedule. Although outside of Chicago, when they went and signed John Lester, I think that was a sign from most people around the country that, oh, they're going for it right now.
Yep.
There's a lot of conventional wisdom that they're going to go for the top guy again this coming offseason. Maybe somebody like David Price or whoever ends up out there. Dexter Fowler's had a double and a single. In fact, he's had one of the key hits of the day that got Vogelsong out of the game. He hit a double with Russell at first in the 5th inning. And that was the beginning of what proved to be a 5-run rally. 6-3, the Cubs leading now. It's a ball and a strike now. 2 down, nobody on. But there is also a lot of talk that the Cubs are trying to make a deal for a little bit more for this stretch run. That ball is smoked deep into left field and gone. The 11th home run of the year for Dexter Fowler, and that was a long one.
Well, it's only the second right-handed, but he knew it. And that's the hot spot of the park. And this is really the first hitter that's taken advantage of it.
Well, I don't know if that was his changeup or a hanging cutter or what, but man, Fowler got all of it. As Casilla is now up in the Giants bullpen. 7-3 Cubs. Schwarber takes a called strike. 2 more hits for Schwarber, 2 more runs scored, and 2 RBIs. He got the big hit off the glove of Tomlinson when Affeldt came in the 5th inning. 0-2. Fowler telling Chris Bryant all about it. Is that Bryant? He's so young.
Yep.
Well, it puts Schwarber away, but another run on the home run by Fowler. 7-3 Cubs. Pence, Crawford, and Bell coming up. 9th inning. As we're not far from the shores of Lake Michigan here at Wrigley, and our player of the game, which is brought to you by Honda, and we're going to go with John Lester, the veteran lefty, 7 strong, 2 runs allowed on 6 hits. And now Rondon for the 9th inning, and maybe only to face 1 hitter. They got 2 lefties warming up in the bullpen again as Pence comes up with the lefties Crawford and Belt right behind him. 7-3 Cubs, and let's go to Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, it's 1 ball and no strikes to Pence. And Pence takes high, 2-0. And one of the reasons too, John, is I don't think Joe Madden wants to add any more pitches to Rondon and lose him for tomorrow.
Well, he clearly thought the game needed saving right there in the 8th inning with the guys the Giants had coming up.
So 3-0 to Pence.
He only threw 5 pitches getting through Duffy and Posey, in that ninth inning, in the 8th inning, I beg your pardon.
And a strike. Took a little off at 97. He throws mostly fastballs and sliders. Everything hard.
Not as hard so far, according to our radar gun. Last night he was throwing 99 miles an hour.
There's the walk.
But tonight he's around 96, 97 with that fastball. But he's got the lefties, both Russell and the other lefty out there is Clayton Richard, the former Padre. But right now he's sticking with Rondon. He struck out Brandon Crawford last night, and maybe that's why.
Yep. So Rizzo's going to play behind Pence at first. And Crawford takes a ball. Crawford had a base hit in the second off of Lester. It knocked in a run. Ross is going to go out and have a word.
Rondon, we were talking about the Cubs stockpiling young talent, as Bosio, the pitching coach, is going to come out now. Rondon is another one of the guys that you would have to put in that category. Rondon was a Rule 5 draftee. He had been with the Cleveland Indians. And between the 2012 and 2013 seasons, they picked him up in the Rule 5 draft at the winter meetings. And here he is now in a pennant race as the Cubs closer.
And he had to stay in the big leagues.
When you pick a guy in the Rule 5 draft, that's the catch. I think you only pay the other team, what, $25,000 or something?
Not much.
And the guy has to stay in your 25-man active roster that whole year. Unless you can end up making a trade with that other team.
So it's 1-0 to Crawford. It's 2-0 to Crawford.
But he did stay all year with the Cubs in 2013. Got into 45 games with him. Still learning how to pitch. He'd had a lot of arm trouble in Cleveland, because that's the question. Well, why would Cleveland let a guy like this go who could throw 99 miles an hour?
Had to be a reason. There's a strike. So Rondon finally comes in. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
He had just missed almost the entire 2012 season with an elbow strain. And then they exposed him in the Rule 5 draft, and sure enough, the Cubs picked him up. Just the kind of guy we're looking for, the Cubs did.
Crawford swings a half swing and a miss. It's 2-2.
And that might have been a changeup, 89 miles an hour. Not many guys throw a changeup that fast this side of Jason Schmidt when he was a Giant.
And that's a fact. On deck is Belt. Crawford pops it up. And Denorfia comes in from right field to make the catch.
Well, he saved an embarrassing moment in the making there for both Russell and Herrera. I mean, watch them. I thought Russell would finally take charge on it. It looked like he was ready to. But quite a bit behind him is where Denorfia caught it. So they may have to send him a thank you card.
So here's Belt. 1 out here in the 9th.
Now they're going to go into that shift, and Chris Bryant is the guy who has to cross the infield. So he's going to be the extra guy on the right side, leaving Russell at shortstop, leaving Herrera at second, and leaving nobody. Now this seems to be the perfect time to lay down a bunt, down by 4.
Perfect. And he does, and he rolls it foul.
And Rondon came off the mound, and then he started rolling.
Yeah, he looked like he slipped going after it.
Well, I hope he's okay.
And if Russell's not going to come in. You do it again. All Rondon did is trip.
Well, he seems to be fine. Maybe a bruised ego.
Yeah. See if Bell tries it again. Why not?
I agree.
And it's outside. Going to second is Pence. And now Brian will come back over to third.
You got to have somebody by third if there's a runner at second. Although, if you don't care if he takes an extra base, why don't you just stay in your shift the way you had it?
Don't even get me started. Belt fouls it out of play. 1-2.
They got 3 guys on the right side now, but so this is very scientific the way they're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
You needed somebody near third, so that's got to be the third baseman.
Don't overthink this.
And the shortstop and second baseman are both now out of their normal position, which they did not want to do just a couple of pitches ago.
One and two. Gregor Blanco is on deck. Giants just trying to move the line along, see if they can get back into this one. Pence is at second with 1 out. And this is foul down the left field line.
Got that low changeup from Rondon. Just kind of flicked it foul.
This will be pitch number 22. Belt steps out. Second strikeout. So here's Blanco.
Well, you throw that changeup to try to get it, and he fights it off. Well, you follow 86 with some 97-mile-an-hour gas, and maybe it looks even faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's Blanco batting for the first time. Inside corner strike from an off-speed pitch. Pence at second, 2 outs here in the ninth. And that pitch just a bit high. The Giants trying to keep this game alive. And this is hit high into right center field. It's Denorfia moving over, and that's the ball game. So game 2 in this series goes to the Cubs, and Giants have dropped the first 2. And this one was 1 inning, John, the 5th inning. Hurt him.
5-run rally. The Giants bullpen came on early on in that inning, but not this time for the Giants bullpen, as good as they've been lately. And they are now 3-5 on this road trip.
All right, final score: Cubs 7, Giants 3. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. East Giants Post Game Live with interviews and the wrap starts right now.